Howard Sanders II. We're here in Panther Burn.
So they really don't have fruit.
Yeah, that's Miss Tillis.
Miss Tillis.
Okay, I paid attention.
Collins-Tillis.
Okay, I'm here with on the property Miss Collins-Tillis, the young lady with the septic tank situation. So I'm going to invite you all to meet Miss Tillis and hear Miss Tillis' story. All right, go right ahead, Miss Tillis.
I met Mr. Sanders in 1962, really.
Is that this Sanders? Oh, okay.
Mr. Sanders. And we lived on Ham Collins Plantation. And I met him through my grandmother. Him and my grandmother was friends. I was one of the first to go to the color school at Simmons High. And President Kennedy got killed. That was 1963. And I moved, when I met him again, I moved back. I moved to Chicago. I moved back to Mississippi. That was my dream, to move back to the southern states where I could have me a big old yard. But we ended up in this old cipher house. When I came back, I was homeless, because my grandmother was dying of cancer, my mother was the only child. And so we came back to help her. So we figured we could do a new beginning. And Fester Sanders allowed me to stay here because all the old cipher houses down there, the farmers were starting to farm the land. They gave them options to get a trailer home. I didn't, by me being the outsider and not a sharecropper back at that time, I didn't have anything. Matter of fact, the cipher house was right there on that side. And it had an old tin roof. We had a barrel in the ground. We made us a homemade septic tank. We added pipes going out there. You can see. Okay. I've come a long way. We made that's the well right there. Where you see that so high in there.
Okay.
There's a well. That's the well. That's the house to the well. That water line is still on this property. So and then True Light moved in, and they wanted to put in their own watering system. Okay. So those of us who've been here, my ancestors maybe 200 years ago, this is the well. That's the well right there.
Oh, okay.
So it's coming from that cipher house was sitting right here. Had a tin roof. We took a water hose and ran it from that, as a matter of fact, and that's how we had water in the house. We attached it to the bath. We put a bathtub in there. There were only 2 rooms at the time. I'll be 66 now. I may not look it, but I'll be 66. I'm doing my landscaping today. So the Lord blessed me. Fester Sanders came into my life again. So he said, I tell you what, he said, I tell you what, you need someone to stay. He said, because I got to pay taxes. He said, you give me $25 a month. Lord, you couldn't beat that. So I've been here ever since. So years later, I had a vision of redoing the house. He said, I'm going to tell you the truth, the house is not worth it. Even his son said. He said, it's termite infested, which it was. But we thought we could get rid of it. So we tore that. So I asked him about it 3 years later. Well, he had paid. Then he ended up passing. But I didn't know that he had took it in his heart and considered me and said, make sure that the Collins have that land. So that's how we came about to get the land. And it took about 3 years for probate. So we turned around, we got the house. Then my husband became terminally ill. He lived 3 months. So I went on with my dream. I built the house.
That's this house right here, Mr.
Yeah, this is the house right here. I've never built a house. Like I said, I've never owned a house. Didn't know what to do. So anyway, I was the first. He was the first of many as black, but I was the first. Thank God for him being in my life. I was the first person to get a $25,000 grant for first-time homeowners for black people in this area. So they told me I had to build. So I built. So I had to maintain 10 years. I did that. My husband died 3 months, like I said, after we built the house. So there's a septic tank. I didn't know nothing about building houses and by being on the concrete slab. It's important, the gravitational lever I found out later on. If I had knowledge, I could have did better. But anyway, and there's nothing wrong with the house except for that it's on a concrete foundation. And so that means the pipes are underground. So the tank is right here. I just had it cleaned again. Cost me $500. There's a tank right here. That's what this is about, this bucket.
Okay.
So we don't have to look for it right there. That's that bucket on top of the tank. Well, what happens is that's the bathroom right here. Stuff would go, but I didn't know that stuff was building up on this side. I'll show you. So I ended up, we don't put tissue in the toilet because it accumulates. This is the line right here. If you want me to pop it, I can pop it.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is the other line. There's a bathroom right here. Well, what happens is by being on a concrete slab, there's not much room for it to flush because the floor is here. So if the floor is here, when you flush the toilet, it goes right there and it sits. So what happens is when you go to washing and by being on a concrete slab, and when you get a lot of rain, the water bags up in the house. So to eliminate that problem, I started popping the cap. So one day somebody, when the soil people came out from the water department, because they had to come out, I had to pay $100 again. Because True Light put that water in, they said, you can't do that. I said, well, sir, that's the only way I could keep it from coming back up in the house, because it really scared me this last time. When it came back up in the house, those septic worms came up in my bathroom, and I'm scared of worms. Love fish, but I'm scared of them. And so, and it smelled, so I called the insurance company. They had to replace all the carpet on the inside, the 2 bedrooms, because it ran on the floor. So I need to desperately put that septic tank right out here. It's got to be so many feet from the house. It got to be 50 feet from the well, because the well is over there.
Okay.
True Light ran their water line through here, but it's got to be, then the field drain line. I got to run that field drain line either this way, I'm going to run it back that way. So that way it won't go and mess up these people's crop.
Right.
Because it will. I just fixed that up yesterday. Took me all day. I'm hurting from it. I tilled all this up because it was still foul over there. So I have to add some more soil over there. But it has to be 50 feet from the well, because there is well on the property. You can't do nothing about that. So you have to have it. It's not sanitary, and of course I don't want it in my house.
No, you don't. Yes, ma'am.
But I've been here, and I met him, encountered him again. He blessed me with the rent for $25. Then he blessed me again by selling me this land, and now I'm a widow. And I'm still, as you can see, I love it. And like I told him, and I told Mr. Fester Sanders, if I told my children, because I'll be 66 this year, if they decide that they don't want to live out here, make sure my oldest daughter, I got everything in her name. It will go back to Sanders Land Company.
Okay.
We won't do it. You know, it's an honor to be able to live out here. I moved back here, and I've been here all this time, and I'm still trying to work, and I do everything myself.
Okay. And say your name again, please.
Collins-Tillis, Collins.
And Ms. Tillis, you've been in my grandfather's life since what year?
I met him in 1962.
Okay, and he was the one that was instrumental in providing you.
Yes, with my home.
Okay.
With my first home. It was an old cipher house with a tin roof.
Okay.
And he was instrumental in that, and he charged me, so I got to pay taxes. So he charged me $25 a month.
Okay, and you've been here ever since?
I've been here ever since. I came back here in I lived on Ham College Plantation, but I moved back here in around 1980.
Yes, ma'am.
And he was instrumental in this, so I had me somewhere to go.
Okay, all right.
It was the house was empty, and I had ran into him. Matter of fact, he was instrumental in my first job too.
Okay.
Because there wasn't no jobs. At the catfish plant in Hollandale, me, my mother, she just died in October, and my sister, all us worked. They named it Farm Fresh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, he's been in my life since the first color school.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to thank you for taking time and educating me.
Yeah.
I feel like a little weasel by not knowing
He was a wonder. You know, you have a lot of people. I was telling someone the other day, a lot of people want to say things when black people are trying to do something for themselves. I say, there was nothing wrong with what he did, and I didn't realize after I read his obituary that
Yes, ma'am.
he was something else. He was an awesome man.
Yes, ma'am.
And he provided homes, for me,
Yes,
even
ma'am.
and I didn't realize how blessed I was. And here I am still being blessed.
Well, he was afforded the opportunity to be around awesome people.
Huh?
He was afforded the opportunity to be around awesome people.
And now here I am. This keeps me going, and I'm working. When my husband passed, I moved on. I went back to school. But I'm working. I'm a sergeant at the prison out there in Arkansas.
Okay.
And people don't know how people touch your lives. Me migrating here, you don't know what God is doing. Sometimes God moves you from a situation because He got better and greater.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the fact that I migrated here, my oldest daughter, I didn't know how life would turn out at this age. Now she's a nurse practitioner.
Okay, congratulations.
But just think, if we hadn't moved from Chicago, I don't know what we would have been.
Yes, ma'am.
But the home that I envisioned as a little girl,
Yes, ma'am.
I ended up moving back here to get it. And so this is me.
See where the pink thing is right on the house?
Yeah.
And it goes.
And see, when the man built the house, I didn't know this either. Because the contractor didn't tell me. This was the pen. The pen was right here. And I'm like, doggone it, he just missed it.
Right.
He didn't tell me.
Right.
I didn't know, you have to give him your deed. I went through USDA. And so the pen was right there. I didn't know.
What's a pen, Miss Tillis?
That's when they surveyed the land.
See, right there.
It's been surveyed. It's
That
been
survey would come right across here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's right, and so I didn't have no way to put the septic tank
Gotcha.
because it would have been on Sanders Land Company, and I can't interfere with, what they with the Brewers. I can't interfere with them. I
Okay.
just can't do what I want to do.
Okay.
But another thing, all this was woods.
Mm.
All this was woods. It took me many years to clear from here. I'll say from where that house, about where this door is, to all out there.
Big old pecan trees,
It was
oak trees.
wooded area. It took me many years every winter to cut and clean, to cut and clear. Then I got down to the last Mr. Tommy Rucker. Then I got Ronnie. It was 3 great big trees left. I paid the guy, gave me a deal because my husband was dying. He only charged me $300 to cut, which should have cost a couple thousand. Cut all 3 of the trees down and move it off. So it takes time because I don't have the farm equipment to work the land.
Yes, ma'am.
But I worked it and I cleared it.
Okay. All right, that's a story.
Right there. And that was, see, that's land right out there.
Mm-hmm. That other land.
That one right
See,
there.
So the one, the pink with the stick
Yeah,
is?
it was, yeah.
See, the original was right here.
It was right there.
Right there.
Right on there.
See, right here.
Yes,
where the
ma'am.
little- Where the tree is.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't have nowhere to put the septic tank.
Right.
It's got to be a distance from that, and then they got a water line out there.
Right.
So I didn't have nowhere to put it, so I kept pleading with it. He said, well, I can't do nothing about it. We're in the family, and I said, I have to talk to the family. He said, well, we'll see. He said, there's nothing I can do. I just have to talk to my family. So I just prayed about it.
Okay.
I kept praying.
Okay.
I said, Lord, please, because I can't. One time I got frustrated.
Right.
And I started to say, well, heck, just sell the house.
Right.
I told him, y'all can buy the house back. I said, because I can't do nothing with it. And I can't put nothing on here that don't belong to me.
Yes, ma'am.
And I desperately need that septic tank.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of putting tissue in the wastebasket.
I got you. And you've been doing that for how long? Miss
I've been doing it since I built the house. I built the house in 2008. I built this house. Because we was in the old cipher house, so we had no problem. Because it was sitting on that side, and the tank was we had a barrel. We made a homemade tank out of a barrel.
Yes, ma'am.
And we would dip the barrel every year.
Okay.
You do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do.
I was grateful.
ma'am.
I came from an old plant from Hamp Collins plantation. My grandmother's old pioneer woman, so I came from those humble beginnings.
Yes,
I'll put
ma'am.
it like that. So it wasn't nothing that I had never done.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
we dipped the septic tank every year, and I
Yes,
poured
ma'am.
bleach, and we dug a big old ditch because my husband worked on the farm.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we dug a big old trench where all the waste could go to it, and you just have to pour diesel and
Okay.
stuff in there,
All right.
and to kill them off, and then you rinse it down, and sometimes you might have to do it twice a year.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
about once or twice a year. We had to dip it though once a year because the barrel get full.
Okay.
And then like I say, don't put no tissue in. Don't put no tissue in there.
Yes,
then I
ma'am.
ain't got to worry about it coming back up in the house, and I want to pop the cap. But I just got it clean,
Okay.
so that it can hold more without me popping the cap. So
Okay.
I'm sticking with the man who told me I can't put Red X in that tank over there.
Yes,
he
ma'am.
said it ain't gonna do no good anyway. It ain't gonna eat my tank up.
Okay.
But if I can get get that septic tank out there, and get that field drain line running back that way,
Yes, ma'am. You
I'm
good to go.
now.
All
I
right.
can put some tissue in the tank.
Okay, well, we want to thank Miss Tillis for taking time to share with us her experience,
Hey.
and we're gonna end it on that note. And,
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
y'all so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. And you have a great evening, Miss Tillis.
You too.
All right.
And I love this spot.
Okay.
And then I said to myself, I'm not gonna sell it because and I'm not racist,
Right.
but I do have
Where
noticed
you at home?
at my age, I noticed something. I used to want to move into Hollandale,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
all the people, white people, are selling their homes, and the folks are running up there. They're termite infested too. They ain't no good.
Ooh, wait.
And then what they're doing, they're coming out here. They're pushing. It's a racist thing. And Mississippi still behind.
Okay.
Put it like that. I don't worry about it. I'm not gonna never be racist because God is in control of everything.
Yes, ma'am.
But they're pushing us out.
Okay.
I ain't going.
All right. Okay.